How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. I am your host, Richie, riding solo. Going to talk about the double Monday Night Football games yesterday. We had two going on, both starting at the same time. One in South Beach and one in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Want to give a congratulations to my Giant fans who haven't jumped ship and given up. New York Giants improved to 5-8 with a 24-22 victory over the Green Bay Packers. And my goodness, man, Tommy DeVito does it again. I'll be honest, guys. I wasn't thinking too much about Tommy DeVito with the win over the Commanders because the Giants' defense forced 6 turnovers. I certainly wasn't thinking a whole lot about Tommy DeVito when we barely beat the lowly New England Patriots. But kind of taking a step back, looking at how good the Patriots defense has been all year and knowing how bad they're hurting that quarterback, I'm like, all right, we won an ugly game. Yesterday, though, truly a coming out party of sorts, in my opinion, for what Tommy DeVito could be. I'm not insinuating that he is the end-all, be-all savior of the New York Giants. But one thing that I cannot deny, and one thing that no one should deny, is that this kid has a certain moxie where the moment doesn't seem too big for him. In terms of the underdog factor, he kind of reminds me story-wise a little bit of Victor Cruz, similar, both Jersey guys. Victor Cruz came from Paterson, New Jersey. He was an undrafted player. We all know what he accomplished as a New York Giant. But, DeVito, going into the week, there was a lot of controversy about the situation with him replacing Tyrod Taylor. I'll tell you what, the throw in the end zone to Isaiah Hodgins on the run in the corner, being able to not get sacked all night, even though Green Bay was winning some one-on-one matchups, his pocket presence to kind of know when things are collapsing and when to run. Prior to Saquon Barkley's huge run that should have ended the game, that was an unforced fumble. I think Barkley thought he was down by contact. Looking at the replay, he certainly wasn't. DeVito bailed him out after the Giants gave up the lead. Windy night in the Meadowlands, special teams blunders galore on both sides. I think it gets understated how difficult it is to field punts and to do the things that a lot of athletes make look easy in those kind of conditions. But Tommy, what I appreciated about what I saw from him yesterday is that he did not panic when he made a bad throw. He did not panic when a couple of his guys missed a route or made drops. He did not panic when Green Bay just made some good defensive plays in the secondary. On the other side, quarterback Jordan Love, who's been improving week to week, he had a bit of a regression yesterday, missing a lot of throws. You saw head coach Matt LaFleur just really getting annoyed with what he was witnessing. This is a big blow for Green Bay. This is a team that's coming off a road dub on Turkey Day against the Lions, the division-leading Lions, and a home victory against the West AFC leading Kansas City Chiefs. Coming into this game, the New York Giants have very slim playoff hopes. A lot of people said it's a win-win. If you lose, you get better draft capital. If you win, you're still alive. And while I'm not insinuating that it might not be too late for the New York Giants to make a playoff push because of the fact that we do have 2 games against a team that historically, recently owns us, talking about the Eagles aren't playing good football right now. We got a Saints team on the schedule still coming up that we're only a game behind, as well as a Rams team coming up that we're only a game behind. I said to fellow Giant fans that playing DeVito right now is more about an evaluation for next year to see if this kid belongs in the league. It belongs on the roster. Got a comment flying in. Idris Salam, my co-host. He stated during the interview how he felt confident he had been doing this since he was a kid. Idris, good point. Good morning. If you want to jump on in, come on in. I don't know if you're available at the moment. I'm going to be running out of here soon, though, because I got to fly to work. But him being a Jersey kid, him being a high school star, him being very entrenched in the culture of that city, I don't believe that any of this truly affects him. The moments have not been too big. And I must admit, going into yesterday, I did not have the highest opinion nor the highest confidence that this guy was more than just a gimmick story. He showed me a lot of moxie yesterday. And quite frankly, what I find most impressive about this young man is that he has the fan base in the palm of his hand. And sometimes the power of suggestion is a really wild thing. You look at Tom Brady getting passed over 6 rounds, 5 rounds. Finally, even the team that picked him passed him over 5 times. You look at the ascension of a guy like a Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. This kid DeVito coming out of Syracuse was not sought after. He was a practice squad player coming into the year. And you take a situation that the Giants are going into the new year. Daniel Jones might not be ready until about week 4, week 5, something in that area. He's coming off an injury similar to what Wandell dealt with. Okay. Tyrod Taylor expiring contract, the way DeVito's playing right now, doesn't really make a lot of sense that you bring back Tyrod. Is there a possibility that you draft a quarterback despite the play of Tommy DeVito? Yeah, I would say so. I still think the Giants do that possibly in round 2, maybe even in round 1. But what this young man is proving right now is that he is indeed an NFL quarterback. And it's also quite alarming that he has looked better than Daniel Jones. There are some variables. Daniel Jones only had Saquon Barkley for X amount of quarters. But I'm tired of that narrative too, and I'm tired of hearing about the O-line narrative. This kid has an intangible that he's starting to show me and NFL fans alike that he's more than just some dude that got lucky and accidentally became the quarterback. And you look at this New York Giants team, yeah, shout out, bro. Idris Salam, missing the playoffs, had the audacity to play Tommy DeVito over Patrick Mahomes, and he ended up beating Brett because of that decision. Good job, Idris. That's wild. And he is the quarterback guru around here. But, this is a team last year, playoff team. This year, a lot of injuries, much tougher schedule. Lesser teams fold in these kind of situations. Lesser teams pack it in. At minimum, one thing that I appreciate that I'm seeing from this Giants team is a lot of character. They're talking about Wink Martindale maybe moving on. Maybe next year the Giants go to a 4-3. Maybe they bring in Leslie Frazier. My bottom line here is that when I look at this team and the fact that they're still punching, while a lot of experts, so-called experts, say they don't have anything to play for, they're showing me an awful bit because the Green Bay Packers had everything to gain and at the same time so much to lose. And they did not truly match the intensity of the New York Giants last night. Hell of a team win. On to New Orleans. 1 game behind the Saints. It's not out of the question. It goes without saying the Giants got to run the table if they're going to somehow magically jump into the playoffs. But I always say I don't believe in tanking because people have jobs to uphold. This is the greatest opportunity of Tommy DeVito's football journey. And someone forgot to tell this team that they're just supposed to lay down and die. Very proud of the New York Giants today. It feels good to have a victory on a primetime game, something that the Giants have been god-awful with doing this year. If he continues to play well the rest of the way, I think he comes back at least as quarterback too. Yeah, Wink does plan on staying. I actually hope Wink stays. I think Wink's doing a good job. But no, the New York Giants right now, 5-8. It's frustrating for the fans because I have said on many a show, 2 defeats, 1 to the Buffalo Bills, 1 to the New York Jets, both decided by 1 damn yard that we could have put the game away in each time. This team should be 7-6. If that were the case, this team would currently be the 7 seed. They are not the 7 seed. They are behind quite a few teams. Might be too much of an ask to sneak into the playoffs because of the issues that they've had this year. But my bottom line is the New York Giants showed up, national setting, against a very good Packer team and really showed out. And I would not be surprised if the Giants finish strong this year because it's not just about the playoffs this year and if they could get in or not get in. It gives you an energy going into the new year. I don't necessarily think that there weren't going to be some adverse situations after shocking the football world last year and making the playoffs and winning a playoff game. But I do think the Giants are starting to look a lot more like the team they were last year as opposed to the team they looked like for the first 8 or 9 weeks this year. New York Giants are playing good football right now. Happy as a spoiler. I get it, Idris. But the truth is, nobody in the bottom of the NFC is running away. That's why this is still actually plausible feasible rather, that the Giants could do this. Similar to the Green Bay Packers, the Miami Dolphins, huge collapse yesterday against the lowly Tennessee Titans, who once again had nothing to play for. Miami's up 13 and literally gave up 2 touchdowns in the game's final 5 minutes. Why this is such a bad loss for Miami, even though they are comfortably ahead in the AFC East, even with the loss, is that you miss an opportunity to jump the Baltimore Ravens for positioning for the 1 seed. That is a huge missed opportunity, not to mention that Tyreek Hill hurt his ankle. Tyreek is a tough dude. He came back into the game. Got to give him credit for that. But this is the most dynamic receiver and probably the best receiver in the year 2023 in the NFL right now. So this is something to worry about for the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa broke a streak in a negative way where he didn't throw a touchdown pass. And when you think about that high-octane offense and what they bring to the table, it's hard to believe that Tua did not throw a touchdown last night. But truly shocking. I mean, and Coach Mike McDaniel said it best. He said, this is a true team loss. We're going to get back to the drawing board. We had a good week of practice. Sometimes these things happen. But it's a hell of a time to happen, especially at home, when the Dolphins have already been fighting questions about if they could hang with the NFL's elite. The Tennessee Titans are not the NFL's elite. But you got to give head coach Mike Vrabel some credit here. He had his team ready to play and ready to beat a team. The Titans are not mathematically eliminated either, but this is more about pride. And I think what we saw in South Beach as well as in East Rutherford, New Jersey, was a lot of pride. The NFL needs more games like this where, teams might not necessarily be in the race, but they are ready to put the hammer down on somebody that thinks they're just going to come in and get something for free. Get at me in the comments. I want to hear what all of you think about Tommy DeVito. I think what he proved yesterday was that this is more than just some gimmicky thing and selling some T-shirts. This kid could play, and I got news for you. I'm actually willing to say that I think he has a better arm than Daniel Jones. Going into next year, you have to keep Daniel Jones on the books for the sheer fact that you can't financially get any relief until after next season. But from what I've seen from Tommy DeVito, what I haven't seen from Daniel Jones, and what we might see from a possible quarterback drafted, Daniel Jones has nothing guaranteed next year other than being a member of the New York Football Giants. And that's the way it should be. We gave Kenny Golladay the bag, but that didn't earn him playing time. It's going to be a very interesting offseason for the New York Giants. And as a fan, all I can ask for is finish strong. You owe it to yourselves to finish strong. You're professionals at the end of the day. And yes, Idris, I said this to you during the Jets preseason game. This kid knows how to feel the pressure. You can't teach that. You either have it or you don't. Until next time, I am your host, Richie. Look for me and Idris, and we're going to probably bring some more company during the week, bringing it on for our Week 15. God, this season's going quick. Our Week 15 NFL preview. Enjoy the day, Giant fans. It's been a long time since we won on a Monday night game and felt real good about it. Enjoy today. Victory Tuesday. Go Big Blue. I am out.